Welcome back. It is another year of football. Week one is here. So I'm super excited. Football's back. Football is back. And As a Jets fan, I don't think there's been, we live for the off season, but it's awesome to be able to have something really exciting brewing. Football in general is great. So, it's time for another year. You're going to get the best fantasy advice that you could get. This is year 4 of us doing this, and I think we've hit. I think we're still averaging over 90%. So success rate on advice. So it's doing very well. So of course, as always, get your questions in, get your thoughts in, and we're going to help build that fantasy lineup that absolutely rocks. Alex, what's up, man? Good to see you. It is football Sunday, man. I'm so excited. It's awesome. All right. As things are warming up and people are coming in, we got to start talking about the Thursday night game real quick and recapping that. That was insane. Was not expecting to see that. And Alex, let me know if you can hear me okay and everything, since I haven't had anybody to mic check with. Uh, let me know if my audio is good, please, since you're here. But yeah, the Thursday night game was pretty intense. Actually, let's talk about your question real quick. Uh, Awesome. Thank you. So Brandon Cooks or Jordan Addison? So this is a very good question. I was actually at the end of my drafts, like flipping a coin between the two of them on who I wanted to grab. And I will tell you, I went with Brandon Cooks most often, just for the trust factor. Uh, but I think it's a good situation. That you've got both. It gives you some room to flex and definitely somebody to keep an eye on. The Buccaneers, we don't know what they're going to have, and um, we do know that Kirk Cousins likes to spread the ball to his wide receivers, to his 1 and 2, he likes Justin Jefferson a lot. But I Oh man, but it's Thursday. It's a Sunday night game, so that's going to be tough too um, for Brandon Cooks. So at the Giants, division game right out the gate. Man, it's gonna be a tough one. Let's see. I'm going to say on this one, I'm gonna say go with Cooks. I'm gonna say go with Cooks just because we haven't seen Addison yet. And if you want to go that way, nothing wrong with rolling the dice if you need to cover some ground there. But Cooks is probably going to be the safer play behind CD Lamb, and will probably get more of a target share than Justin Jefferson's going to give up. So I would go that way. So Travis, what's up, my man? Tell me how excited you are about the Jaguars this year. I mean, like I just kind of talked about, like the Jets right now, uh, everybody's amped. I cannot wait to see what the stadium's going to sound like, which I can't be there, but Monday Night Football, it's going to be insane. But man, the Jaguars, man, Trevor Lawrence took that major step forward this past year. I'm excited to see what they should run. They should run the South without much competition, but I'm excited to see what Big T Law is going to do this year. So, but yeah, let's get back to that Lions game. The Lions are for real. All right, so let's just start off with that. The Lions are going to win the North. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, they are a feisty team that has been up and coming, and they look for real. Jared Goff quietly just keeps doing it. I don't know. He's settling in to Detroit, which is kind of crazy, right? But that team is it's just working. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. I thought Gibbs was going to get a lot more run. So from a fantasy perspective, you don't feel good about that running back room as in general, because you don't really love David Montgomery. They drafted Gibbs in the first round. His his production is going to go up. I think they're just going to ease him into it. But he had a very low number of carries for week one. I was like, man, he's too good to only. I think he only had 9 carries, which is way too low for somebody that you're going to take in the first round there. So especially as high as they did, I think that should probably been more of a closer to an even split, especially how tight that game was. Like, and he looked explosive, absolutely explosive. So if you drafted Gibbs, congratulations. He looks like he is going to take over that backfield in the next couple weeks and actually run like crazy. And the Chiefs. So as I was drafting, and I saved my drafts for the last week of preseason. So I just finished all of mine because I don't want to get stuck with Jonathan Taylor in the first round 4 or 5 weeks ago, and then this happens, right? So I wait till the very end, and I'm looking at the Chiefs, and outside of Travis Kelce, there is nothing that you want on this team. So I completely shied away from Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs. I mean, their running game doesn't really excite you. There's nobody that stands out there. Wide receivers, it's kind of just a dead zone of wide receivers. They have Travis Kelce, they have Patrick Mahomes, and they have a pretty decent defense. Outside of that, like that team, this could be a very rough year for Chiefs Nation because if anybody figures out how to slow Travis Kelce down, especially coming off of a knee injury, this team could be in a lot of trouble. And Patrick Mahomes can carry a lot, but man, when he starts going up against some really tough defenses and some really strong offenses, I don't know how they're going to keep up with just Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes' legs. So, going to be very interesting to watch the Chiefs over the next couple weeks and see if they implode or if they get very creative and make some stuff happen. Very, very fun storylines there between the Lions and the Chiefs to watch. So, and yeah, I don't know how Jared Goff is doing it, but and good for him. I mean, he got shunned out of LA, sent back into Detroit, and he's making it, man. It's good for him. So, and Dan Campbell biting kneecaps off. It's working. It's working. But all right, so let's get into today's games and talk about some fantasy implications, and of course, continue to get your questions in. We're going to help you build a team that's going to win right out the gate week one. So super excited to be helping you guys out, and also super excited to have this nice beard now that I'm retired from the military. It's been fun. All right, so let's go. So Panthers and the Falcons. So right now, Falcons are 3.5 points. Favorites over under is at 40, so not incredibly high. Kind of on the lowish end scoring predictions, and rightfully so. The Panthers, it's going to be a rough year, I think, for them. I feel bad for Bryce Young. I mean, we've talked about this on the show multiple years now about the dangers of throwing these rookie quarterbacks in right out the gate, right? And the struggles that they all seem to have. The Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert year just kind of ruined it for quarterbacks, right? The expectation has still been maintained that that's the success level you should have out the gate, which is unrealistic. So Bryce Young's going to have an interesting year. From the Panthers' perspective, Terrace Marshall Jr. is somebody that I'm watching today, but I'm not starting. I think he's got a ton of upside. He's got a lot of talent. He will be playing today. And I don't know how many other weapons that they have on that team. I do not trust Miles Sanders for the life of me. I will not trust Miles Sanders. So I will avoid Miles Sanders as I have continued to for the last couple of years. But Terrace Marshall, keep an eye on him, especially from a fantasy perspective, because he might be somebody that you could grab at the back of your bench and use as a fill-in spot guy as needed. From the Falcons side, very interested to see what Bijan Robinson's going to do. I did draft him in one of my leagues. I only do auction leagues, so I paid up for him, but I love the talent that's there. I absolutely think he's going to be a stud in the league. I'm surprised he went to the Falcons. I really am, but I think he's going to be very good. He's somebody I'm excited to keep an eye on today to see what he does. Without Cordero Patterson there, you just have Tyler. I mean, he is there, but he's hurt. And you have Tyler Algier, who played pretty well last year for where he was a late round pick. So he looked really good in that really not great Falcons offense. So I'm really excited to see what Robinson's going to do. Of course, Drake London, you want to see that continued climb as he now rolls into year 2, hopefully healthy. I mean, they got some nice weapons there on the offense. They got 2 big weapons, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about a guy named Kyle Pitts, who came out like a man on fire his rookie year and then completely forgot, I think, that he was supposed to show up on Sundays in year 2. So definitely looking to see what this Falcons offense is going to be, because it could be good if Desmond Ritter figures it out and settles in. This could be a very, very nice Falcons offense. I don't know about the defense, but also for this week could be a very nice spot start against this Panthers offense that I don't really know is going to exist very well. So um, let's see, Alex. I've got Giles. I'm going to miss the first slate. Excited to see what Richardson does. Yeah, he's another one. We're going to get to that one in a drill. Ugh, Alex. Poor guy. All right. So in this one, obviously, give me the Falcons in that 3.5. I think they'll cover that against this Panthers team. I don't see that one being very competitive. So from a betting perspective, take the Falcons and the 3.5. That should be an easy cover. All right. This one should be another fun one to watch this morning. And I say that because I'm on the West Coast. So for you East Coasters, this afternoon, insert your specific time period. All right. So Bengals at the Browns. So Joe Burrow, he looks fully healthy after that injury scare, and Filthy Rich. Congratulations to him and a huge, huge contract against the Deshaun Watsons. So this is going to be hopefully a very exciting offensive game. So Watson didn't look great last year, but we know what the talent looks like. So with him coming back, having that full year behind him, a whole off season to prepare, really interested to see if he is going to ascend or regress. So keep an eye on this one. Of course, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Boyd, Joe Mixon. I mean, the offense is not gone anywhere for the Bengals. They still look very, very powerful. The Browns, they have Cooper still, which is a nice play. The whole offense was bad last year, so trying to make a prediction on what the Browns are going to do is really hard. They traded with the Jets for Elijah Moore, who, what I've seen on the Twitter X sphere, is he's looked really good, and he's been a prime target for Deshaun Watson this offseason. So he's somebody to keep an eye on. I grabbed him late in drafts as a just in case. Amari Cooper continues to be a middle of the road like he was last year. Moore's going to be operating out of the slot, so it could be a nice fit. He's probably still out there. Keep an eye on him today. He might be a nice add to your bench, especially in a PPR if he's getting 6-7 catches out of the slot. So keep an eye on that today as well. But yeah, I mean, you're starting your Bengals without question. I'm curious to see how many people are in on Deshaun Watson. Tell me what you guys think, what direction he's going to go in, because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, the hype is there. Everybody's excited, but he had a lot of time off. So is he going to rebound with this team, or is he going to just be another Browns quarterback, middle of the road guy? So tell me what you guys think here. Since he's a 1-point favorite, this is in Cleveland. It's a division game. That's probably why it's as close as it is. I like the Bengals in this one. So give me the Bengals, of course. 1 point. Like that spread seems too low. But what is Vegas? Vegas must know something to be that confident on Cleveland. I don't know, but I'm going to go Bengals in this one and give me that 1 point. All right, Travis. Jaguars, Colts. Man, this should be a very nice warm-up game. This is like Alabama playing South Appalachian State Valley Community College in week 1, right? Like this is as close to a warm-up game, I think, as you could get in the NFL. The Colts are a disaster. They're just there's no other way to say it. Their offseason was a disaster. Their ownership is a disaster. They're starting a quarterback that has no business starting right now. I don't like Alex, you're excited to see what Richardson does. I'm excited to see if he survives. He's a running quarterback. That's great. He's got a super strong arm, but it should he should be on the bench. Like this, to me, he still needs time to develop. He's not NFL ready, and he's being put on a team that's not very good. So tell me, Alex and Travis, what is your guys' excitement and slash fear from Richardson? Like I said, the guy's got a great arm. He can run. He can do it all, but he's on a bad team with no running game, and he's got to try to keep up with Trevor Lawrence in this offense. I don't see it. I think the Jaguars defense is a play. Everybody on the Jaguars is a play. The only person on the Colts I would really look to would be Deion Jackson, because there's no other running backs. And he spot started a couple times last year and didn't do anything. I don't know if that's going to change this year. Maybe it does if you're super desperate, or you're playing daily and you want to throw somebody in there. He's probably a super cheap running back that you can grab and throw into daily, but I mean, I wouldn't trust him in a weekly format. I just think the Jaguars are going to blow this one wide open. There will be no running game for the Colts, and probably 4 interception game for Richardson is what I'm going to say, as he tries to keep the Colts in this game that T-Law is just going to destroy. So, yeah, I mean, he's got talent, and I said he's got explosiveness, he's got a great arm, but he's just underdeveloped. I don't think he's day one NFL ready, and I'm really surprised that the Colts are just throwing him in there. But again, what options do they have, right? They really don't have anything else. So, yeah, and this is, like I said, Travis, I mean, what a game. What a game to start the year off with. I mean, this is prime, right? They come off of a playoff appearance, a crazy upset win against the Chargers. Sorry, Alex, but man, what a way to just kind of set the tempo for this year, right? I mean, this is going to be a good one. Jacksonville, 3.5 point favorites. It should be 13.5 points. So take the Jaguars in this one. And I'll tell you, you guys are excited to see how Richardson is. I'm excited to see what Travis Etienne does this year. I loved Travis Etienne coming out of the draft. They kind of used him weird the last couple of years, and Travis can attest to this. And he did have that Liz Frank injury the first year. He missed the whole year last year. His usage was just weird. And I think he is a 3-down dual threat back, and I want to see them just let him go this year. So I think from this game, that's what I'm going to be watching from the Jaguar side do they finally let Travis Etienne run wild? He's too good for the way they're using him. So very excited. And of course you want to see what the rookies do. So I will be keeping an eye on that as well. But give me the Jaguars and 3.5 points. It feels like free money. So we'll see. All right. So let's keep rolling here. So a lot of games, and week 1 is tough. Week 1 is really, really tough because we just don't know, right? We have no basis for comparison except for last year. And Alex doesn't want to talk about last year, right? Like last year that's just Alex's Bruno. So we don't talk about Bruno. Bucks at Vikings, though, we do talk about. So Alex had this question as well about starting Addison, right? So this is a game I want to see what the Bucks have. Baker Mayfield hanging on for dear life, had a couple good games. enough to keep himself around. Now he's got the Buccaneers offense. He's got Godwin. He's got a very, I don't want to say angry, but maybe a little disappointed Mike Evans. I'm going to say disappointed Mike Evans. And Rashid White, which I like as a running back, with now Leonard Fournette stepping away from the team and joining the free agency pool of running backs that's still sitting out there with him and Kareem Hunt, a couple other guys. But I like White a lot. He came out of ASU, very, very strong runner. He was great to watch. But the Buccaneers still have weapons. That's my point. They still have weapons. Can Baker do anything on offense? So that's going to be something to watch in this one. Can he keep up with this game? He's got to travel up to Minnesota. That's not going to be an ideal situation, but it's one, it's not the worst situation. Vikings defense is middle of the road. They still have Justin Jefferson to contend with on the offensive side, and I'm excited to see what Addison's going to do there, stepping into Adam Thielen's role. He looked good at USC, so I'm curious to see how he's going to transition into that number 2 role behind Justin Jefferson. I mean, you're still going to expect JJ to get 13 catches a game, so what's left for Addison, we will see. They also have now TJ Hawkinson locked up to a long-term deal as well. So the Vikings offense is still going to be good as long as Kirk Cousins is not playing on prime time. They should win this game. And guess what? It's 10 a.m. game. Again, West Coast. So early game, not televised. Vikings win with the 4 points. Absolutely easy. DJ, what's up, man? Struggling. Pick one flex, full PPR. Cook, Herbs, Hopkins. Lattimore, Hopkins all game scares me. Not sure how much plays for the Bears. Yeah, so you do have 3 tough matchups. I'm a little hesitant there with Hopkins. Lattimore has kind of slid a little bit, so I don't think he's the scary lockdown corner he was the first 2 or 3 years of his career. But he's still a very good corner. What worries me more is the situation that Hopkins is in. I don't trust that offense at all. That is a run-first offense in Tennessee, and Hopkins is coming in, learning a new offense. Quarterback play is middle of the road there with their quarterbacks, so there's nobody there that you feel really trustworthy with. There's no real other options to draw coverage off of Hopkins. So I would probably avoid Hopkins until we see what he's got. Khalil Herbert, I like him a lot as well. I just don't know how they're going to use him. So that's my biggest concern with the Bears right now is what are they planning on doing? So it's tough. He doesn't catch a lot of balls either. So, I mean, you're in a full PPR. He's not really that type of a player. They're going against the Packers, and the Packers are absolutely decimated on offense, which I expect a big defensive game from the Bears, which we'll get into a little bit. But so for me, this is down to Cook or Herbert. I would probably go with Cook in this one, just because I think he's going to be featured and he's going to be an outlet for Josh Allen. And as a Jets fan, I could tell you the defensive line is for real, and they are going to bring a lot of pressure this year. And when Stephon Diggs can't get open, he's going to look for an outlet, and he's going to use Cook a lot more. So I like Herbert. I like this matchup. I do think there will be a lot of running in this game because the Packers have they have a running game, and I think the Bears is going to be Justin Fields running and Khalil Herbert running, but they haven't fully committed to Herbert. So go with Cook in this one, and I think that's your best bet. But that is a tough situation until you know what Khalil Herbert's role is and you see what Hopkins can do in that offense. They're tough decisions, but I would go with Cook. And I'm a Jets fan. I don't like saying that. So, but I hope that helps. All right. So yeah, like I said, give me the Vikings. We'll roll back into these games. Give me the Vikes in this one. Very excited to see what Justin Jefferson's going to put up this year. The dude is, man, otherworldly. And to be able to trade away Stephon Diggs and then just replace him with Justin Jefferson and not win. Come on, Minnesota. Like, what? Come on. Like, how are you not winning? But this is what it's going to come down to, is the Vikings and the Lions this year for that division. And that's going to be I think that's going to be a two-headed race. Put Chicago somewhere right in the middle. I expect Chicago to get a lot better, but I think they're going to kind of be a 8-win team, something like that, and miss the cusp. But it should be a fun division there. And all right, so next up, Titans. So as we talk about DeAndre Hopkins at the Saints. Titans offense. I don't know what to make of it. It makes me very, very nervous. I don't really trust Ryan Tannehill as a quarterback. When Derrick Henry is running without any obstacles in his way, which he just bowls over most people, that opens up that offense, and that's what Tannehill needs, I think, to be successful. So when you see that Derrick Henry goes down or the running game is struggling, the entire offense kind of just falters. So Tannehill can't pick up and shoulder the offense when the running game's not there. So that makes me nervous. Saints traditionally at home play defense very well. Going to be interesting to see what Derek Carr does now down there in the Big Easy. I don't really know. I'm not a big Derek Carr fan, but he can throw the ball. There's no denying that. I think he needed a change of environment. That Raiders environment is not healthy for anybody involved in it. So he's somebody to keep an eye on, but I don't think from a fantasy perspective, I mean, you might grab him to fill in a bye week, but that is about the extent of it. When you look at the offensive side of the Saints, I don't know. Is Michael Thomas going to be a wide receiver again? I'm leaning towards no, but he, maybe a 2 or 3 wide receiver, but his days as a number 1 are over. Kamara is suspended. They do have Jamal Williams that they grabbed from the Lions, who had 17 touchdowns last year. So their running game is probably going to be the strength of the Saints this year. And guess what? It's going to be the strength of the Titans too. So this is going to be a huge running game. I think the over-under is way too high at 41. This should be a low-scoring running game. I just don't trust these offenses right now, but I also wouldn't put money on this game at all. But if you were forcing me to, I'm going to take the Saints at home. Just they are a very hard team to beat at home. If they could slow down Derrick Henry, Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to give the Saints the edge, but I'd probably go Titans in the points with a 3-point spread. So don't trust those at all. All right. So we'll see who's online right now. 49ers at the Steelers. This game should be fun. I mean, it's 2 powerhouse teams, 2 teams that value defense, and Steelers defense at home. I mean, that's a wild place, right? So if you've got that to contend with, it's not going to be easy. So the 49ers, the offense is pretty well, I mean, very well balanced. You've got, Debo and Ayuk. You've got that guy, Christian McCaffrey. You might have heard of him a time or two, healthy, and he's a game changer by himself. I mean, he could win you a fantasy league, a fantasy week by himself. That's how good he is. So you've got the running game. You've got 2 really good wide receivers and Kittle me Timbers, George Kittle there at tight end, who is questionable but is slated to play. So he's going to be fine. Sam Darnold's running the offense or the backup, and Brock Purdy is going to be seeing if he can grow. That's the question mark, I think, for the 49ers. You traded Trey Lance away. You've got Sam Darnold, and you've got Brock Purdy, who had a very nice run at the end of the year. Was that a fluke or was that real? Right. And we're going to find out how defenses adjust, because they always do in year 2. They figure out your strengths and weaknesses and they adjust to you. So they have weapons. Is Brock Purdy is Brock Purdy legit? Is he that? Is he, you know, Mr. Irrelevant, or is he going to be an elite quarterback? So that's going to be fun to watch today and see how that goes. And from the Steelers side, obviously, expecting big things from Kenny Pickett in year 2. Want to see that step forward, that growth. It's something you're rooting for. I mean, he's a Pittsburgh guy. I mean, it just fits. So from a Steelers perspective, like that just it's something you want to see, like a hometown guy playing for his hometown team. You want to see that one work out. Najee Harris is also somebody I want to see coming out with Travis Etienne a couple years ago. Had a great rookie year, kind of stepped back with that entire offense last year. Not as great. So, very, very good running back. Very excited to see. And he's somebody that, you probably got in round 3 or 4, but could be an absolute top 10 running back this year. So if you got him paired with, a running back in the first round, I mean, you could have a monster there, a nice 2-headed monster to deal with. So I'm excited. I'd like to hear with this game. San Francisco's 2-point favorite. They are traveling to the East Coast for a 10 o'clock game. You guys know how I feel about those West Coast teams traveling to the East Coast, even though it seems to be proving me wrong over the last couple years. But, right now it's 9:30 on the West Coast. They got to play a game in 30 minutes, and it's just, it takes a little bit of time. So if the Steelers can strike fast, as the 49ers are kind of getting their legs underneath them, this could be a fun one to watch. So 41 points over under. So they're kind of a mid pack, and it doesn't look like Vegas has done a lot of stretching this week. So they're keeping everything pretty conservative, but I'm going to say the Steelers upset in this one. So San Francisco's a 2-point favorite, so nothing crazy. Give me the Steelers, game-winning field goal. Time expires. Steelers win. Okay, so here's in a game where we're not going to spend a lot of time on the Cardinals and the Commanders. Washington's a 7-point favorite. That feels right, but it feels wrong at the same time. So Sam Howell is not a quarterback that I think is very good, and I feel bad for him. I love Terry McLaurin, and that's about it. So Scary Terry should have a very nice game in this one. He's probably going to be the primary offensive weapon and target. I'm sure they'll try to balance the running game in this one, and it'll probably take over because the Cardinals are an absolute mess and should be planning on who they're drafting with the number 1 pick. So we'll see how this one goes. But yeah, I mean, Washington should roll them in this. I don't see it being close. Another West Coast, East Coast travel, early morning game. This is just going to be rough for the Card. This is going to be a rough year for Cardinals fans, and I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I mean, life is it's just bad. So give me the Commanders in this one. But I don't even know if I love the 7 points. I really have to see what this Washington Commanders offense is going to be, what their defense is going to be. And again, Chase Young is missing games, which sucks because he has so much talent, but he can't stay on the field. So this is a game, 38 points even feels kind of high in this one. I just think these are two kind of anemic offenses, but very interested to see if I'm going to be wrong on those for now. So all right, let's roll to our last morning game, Texans and Ravens. So again, Texans transitioning to another quarterback with CJ Stroud. They let Brandon Cooks go to the Cowboys. They have Nico Collins now as kind of their number 1. They did pick up Dalton Schultz, so decent tight end as well that they have there. And the running back room is owned by Dameon Pierce for the most part. So again, no names that I just said makes you go, this is going to be a good year for the Texans, right? So the Texans are going to struggle. The Ravens are not. So Again, Texans traveling to Baltimore. I guess I shouldn't say they're not, right? I don't know what the Ravens are going to be either, and this seems to be a theme of the show, right? I don't know, but you've got Lamar Jackson. He's very good. Now you've got Andrews that's out for this week. So that takes away your primary weapon, which makes Isaiah Likely a very nice fill-in. So if you're looking for a tight end and he's still out there for this week, grab him and plug him into your lineup right now. Don't sit on that one. If he's out there, you've got 30 minutes to go. So jump on, grab Isaiah Likely. If you waited to grab, I guess there's only a couple tight ends that you would even feel really comfortable with. And with Kelsey being out, that number gets even, with both of them being out. Tight ends are a disaster this year. So jump on, grab Likely, plug him in against this Texans team that's not going to be very good again. But yeah, outside of that, I'm going to keep an eye on Rashad Bateman. Very, very talented. They have rookie wide receivers too with Zay Flowers, but Bateman's my guy that I'm going to keep an eye on. The whole offense deserves to be watched to see who's going to emerge to be Lamar Jackson's wide receiver of choice, right? So there's got to be somebody. There has to be. He can't just keep relying on a tight end. So he's going to have to show it today with Likely coming in, not having Andrews. He's going to have to pick a wide receiver. So which wide receiver is he going to go with? So that's something to keep an eye on because that could be a waiver claim for next week. So I like Bateman. I liked him coming out. I think he's got a ton of talent. He's had some unfortunate injuries. So keep an eye on him. But 9.5 points for the Ravens. They should be able to cover that even with their offensive situation right now. Their defense should still be very good. You're going against a rookie quarterback and a very thin offense. So, and it's a home game. So give me the Ravens in this one. I'll take the 9.5. I'll take the 9.5 against the Texans. I think they'll do that one. All right. So now let's get into the afternoon slate. And of course, guys, get your questions in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the show. Help me draw more people in, please. So your likes go a long way for the algorithm to say this is something that you enjoy and other people might as well. So please like it if you're watching. It's huge. And of course, subscribe so we can continue to grow. So, all right, Packers and the Bears. The Bears. So Chicago's 1.5 point favorite out the gate in this one. And I feel like that is probably low right now. So their wide receiver situation in Green Bay is not good. So you're putting a lot of it's Jordan Love time. He's had 4 years to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's a good quarterback, and he's had a lot of time to develop. So this is going to be very interesting because of how I started the show with just we've just been throwing first round picks right into the fire year in, year out, ever since Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert came out. So how is that going to change if you see Jordan Love come out and just light it up on offense? Just run the offense, control it, look amazing with the 4 years of sitting on a bench, learning from a veteran quarterback. Are we going to see kind of a reversion back to the older days when that was the norm? Like you sat on the bench for the first 2 years before you touched the field. I'm interested to see how it's going to go because I think it needs to go back to something like that where you at least spend your rookie year learning. And this is going to be a very telling sign to see if it actually is going to happen. But Christian Watson, he's out. Romeo Dobbs is doubtful, leaning towards out. Let me see if they updated that while you guys are thinking of questions. Let me scroll through here and take a look. Thielen, check. Where? Okay, so Dobbs is questionable now. So he was doubtful. He's up to questionable. Um, Either way, I don't see it. I don't see it being very impactful. So the Packers are going to be a team to watch this year. They still have a very nice 1-2 dual-headed running back room there with AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Very nice running backs, and I think they're going to lean very heavily on this year and this game especially. They're not going to put too much on Jordan Love in his first game. They're not going to do much on offense with the wide receiver situation that they have right now. So I expect a lot of runs. I picked up the Bears defense. I for this week. I think it's a great situation for Chicago. It's a home game, and like I said, I mean, I just pointed out all the upside for why you go and pick up the Bears defense right now and start them. So uh, on the other side of that, we saw Justin Fields last year running rampant on everybody, right? 80-yard touchdowns, 60-yard touchdowns, just breaking loose. Packers defense is decent. It's I'd say in the upper half of the league. But they've got a nice running back in Khalil Herbert, which I am high on, and I want to see how they use him, which I talked about with DJ there. And they added DJ Moore, so they actually have a nice wide receiver that they can go to, which is nice. Cole Kmet, still a nice tight end there as well, and take a little bit of pressure off the tight end specific and a little bit of balance for Justin Fields to have a couple of weapons there, but his legs are still weapon number one and hard to stop. So once the Bears get up and the Packers have to try to start throwing the ball to wide receivers that don't really exist, opportunity for the Bears defense to turn some things over, pick six, fumble recoveries, whatever it is, sacks especially. So I'm that's going to be my call of the week right here is give me the Bears defense. I'm going to put it out there. I picked him up last night once I saw Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs were both out or doubtful. I was like, you know what? This just screams opportunity, and I'm gonna take the opportunity. So I had the Dolphins defense, which I don't absolutely love this week. So I was like, all right, give me the Bears. Bears. I'm throwing them in there. So give me the Bears also for the win. And they're 1.5 point favorites. I think they handle that one. I think they cover and win by 5 points or so. So, all right, rolling on here. Raiders at Broncos. Oh man, week 1 is fun, isn't it? I don't know what either of these teams are going to do. Again, the theme continues. The Raiders with Jimmy Garoppolo that doesn't make you any more excited than Derek Carr did. They still have Josh Jacobs. He's a very, very, very good running back. There's really nothing on the Raiders that you can count on, right? Devontae Adams, you're going to start him every week. So I shouldn't say there's nothing you could count on, but is he going to be in a better situation with Jimmy Garoppolo than he was with Derek Carr? I would say no. Derek Carr has a much better arm. He can get it downfield. Jimmy Garoppolo is more of a precision passer and wants to play that type. So I don't know how it's going to play out. It's going to be something to watch how they meld that offense together, but it doesn't make me feel good inside. I'm going to tell you that right now. The Broncos, on the other hand, where do you start with this, right? Sean Payton comes in talking all sorts of shit on Nathaniel Hackett and how he basically ruined the organization. And I don't know if he did or not, but very, very weird to see a coach of his stature just ripping on another coach. But is that the reason that they struggled so bad? I don't know. I don't know, because they didn't really start winning when they fired him either. So it all rides on Russell Wilson. And is Russell Wilson on the decline, or is it a freak situation? Was it a weird year? That's a storyline today. That is a major storyline today. The Broncos are at home. You got a Raiders team that's not scary. Uh, does Russell Wilson bounce back? Right? Everybody's going to be watching this. The pressure is on Sean Payton, and I think that's why he did that, to try to take some of the pressure off and be like, well, I'm coming into a situation that somebody else screwed up and I have to try to fix, right? So I think he's trying to buy himself a little bit of time there with those comments, but very unprofessional. So back to it. Jerry Jeudy is questionable in this one. This is an afternoon game, so we're not going to get any updates. Courtland Sutton might be a nice shift if you need a wide receiver. Might not be the worst play there. Outside of that, I don't see Jerry Jeudy playing in this one, and I'm reading through some of the information, and they're expecting him to sit it out. So they're bringing up Lil Jordan Humphrey and Philip Dorsett from the practice squad. So they need wide receiver help, and those are not wide receivers that you're like, yes, I have to go get little Jordan Humphrey. But Courtland Sutton is probably going to elevate to the top target this week for Russell Wilson. So I don't like any of these offenses. They make me very nervous on both sides. But I'm going to lean the Broncos here. And I should actually caveat with one other thing. I want to see what Williams does at running back. Because I thought they were going to ease him in, but they're saying he's going to go. So I want to see if he actually takes the most snaps or if they're going to try to ease him back from that ACL injury. So we'll see. That's somebody that I want to see if he bounces back, because that could be huge for the Broncos to balance out that offense and have a very, very strong running game. So keep an eye on that play today, and that could be a nice trade target if he looks decent or if he gets a lot of carries. You could jump in there and potentially pick him up off of somebody else if he shows something. If he explodes, forget it. You're not going to get him. But if you see that he's looking good, but doesn't get a huge share of the carries, maybe jump over there and make an offer to try to snatch him away for the buildup. So, all right, Patriots hosting the Eagles. So this is an interesting one because Philly's only a 3.5-point favorite. It's a hop, skip, and a jump for the Eagles. Not very far to travel. It is Bill Belichick. It is a home game for the Patriots, but this Eagles offense is so much better than the Patriots offense. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And I would argue their defense is better than the Patriots defense as well. John's not here to defend himself or his team, so he's just going to have to take it. They will be back. But out of town this week. So, the Eagles offense is going to explode. It's just going to continue to be an explosion, and they are going to blow the Patriots' doors off. I think this is a statement. The Patriots are still a name, right? Whether or not they've been a factor for the last couple years in the postseason, it doesn't matter. Bill Belichick's coaching that team. They are still a name. I think the Eagles are going to want to go in there and they are going to want to make a statement by blowing out the Patriots. So they're not going to go easy. They're going to make a statement out the gate, and they should. I mean, they were in the Super Bowl. You want to make that statement. You want to, and especially after Kansas City lost, you want to plant that flag and say, somebody come knock us off, right? So I think the Eagles are going to be absolutely they're going to fly, right? Fly, Eagles, fly. They are going to take off on the Patriots, and they are going to blow them out. So start your Eagles. I shouldn't have to tell you that, but if I do, start them. If you're looking for reassurance, start your Eagles. Patriots side of the house, Ramondre Stevenson is still that's going to be their primary guy. It's going to be fun to watch what Ezekiel Elliott does, how they incorporate him into this and what his role is going to be moving forward. Something to keep an eye on. But wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to be their number one. target. And what does Mac Jones do? So can he continue to grow, or have we kind of seen the height of what Mac Jones is going to be? So that's the storylines to watch for the Patriots. Start Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's going to be really your only thing. So, and Jim's here. So let's bring Jim in before we transition into the next game. Let's see. Where'd he go? Can you hear me? I don't think so. Oh, hey, there you are. You got me?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good. Sorry, I got a house full of people. It's football Sunday.
Welcome to the show. 10 minutes
Thank
to
you.
go.
Everything figured out already?
What's that?
You got everything figured out?
We got a couple more games to talk about. So
all right.
We'll cruise through them. I was saving the best for you. So, all right. So Dolphins and Chargers in this one. Dolphins now traveling all the way to the West Coast, but they get the advantage of an afternoon game to adjust to the time. Chargers are 3-point favorites in this one. 50 over under, highest projected scoring game of the week, and potentially rightfully so. Chargers offense looks absolute legit. Justin Herbert is still Justin Herbert. Eckler is an elite running back. And they added Quentin Johnston from TCU. So they have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Speedster in Johnston. So 3 very nice wide receivers. So their offense looks great. I think the big question from the Dolphins side, we know the Dolphins wide receivers are good. We don't know what the running back situation is going to look like to balance that out. And then the big question, Tua.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is he gonna make it through this game? Is he gonna make it through this season? Is he gonna play again? After that, the concussions are real, and the more you have, the more prone you are to getting them. So, what are you looking at in this game?
So I like the Chargers in this game. I think that, this is what were they, 5th and 6th? They were back-to-back picks like in 2020, maybe. Tua and Herbert, right? Tua went before Herbert, from what I remember. Maybe Miami's a little upset about that choice, but I think Herbert's been a solid quarterback. I think he has more weapons at home in SoFi. I think Chargers win that game. Yep. Which I'm sure you want to have happen too. So,
of course I do. I mean, that's the ideal situation for the AFC East. So, and I agree. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. 3 points. I mean, I expect a high scoring game, but again, does Tua make it through this game? I think that's where all eyes are going to be on this one. Is he ended the season on IR, right? So he's back. The offense could be explosive with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but Tua is the question.
Right. I mean, anybody would love to have those 2 receivers, the speed, the ability to get open they have, downfield weapons, and we'll see what he does today. I mean, it's
definitely
he's been
keep
handed everything he needs.
Yeah, he has. All right, so I want to jump to our 2 games real quick, but I'm going to say Rams, Seahawks. Stay away from the Rams.
Seattle.
Yeah, take Seattle. 5 points. That's free money. Should be. And start Metcalf. Metcalf and Kenneth Walker. Start those 2 and leave everybody else alone. All right, so Cowboys, Giants. So right out the gate.
Prime time.
Right out the gate and into the frying pan, right? So
I mean, I love that both of us have primetime games. Actually, I think the Giants have 3 out of 4 coming up, or maybe 2 out of 3. I forget what the beginning of the schedule looks like. I think they have a Sunday night, they got a Thursday night, they got a Monday night. I mean, so that's great stuff. I love that, and I love that we open against Dallas at home. So what's funny about tonight's game is, the storm has been coming up the coast. Yankee game yesterday was rained out. There was a delay, Old Timers Day, all that stuff. So I think it might be a sloppy game tonight. It may be rainy, thunderstorms. There was some thunder that rolled through here earlier. And if that's the case, which I think is an advantage for the Giants, and just have Barkley pounding and pounding and pounding and take away maybe that downfield game with CD and the other guys they have down there. I'm hoping it's going to be I think it's going to be a close game. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Giants to win. I'm definitely taking the points. I think Giants are 3.5-point home dogs. So I'm definitely taking the points with that.
No, they're
and,
3
I
points
think
now.
That 3 points.
Yep.
Okay. Well, hey, I'll take the 3 points.
Yeah.
And yeah, Giants win. I think the Giants defense. I mean, you think about Prescott, right? Prescott hasn't been able to get it done. I mean, okay, I'll say this: he's 10-0 against the Giants. I get that. He's 10-0, and I said last year when it was 7-0, it wouldn't be 8-0 or whatever, but it's 10-0 now, and
Yeah.
I really believe the Giants are a better team this year, better defense, more weapons on offense. We got weapons at tight end, weapons at receiver. Jones is better. Barkley's back. Barkley's healthy. Giants win. Giants win. And I know where I live down here, I'm in Eagle country down here. Everybody, my door is painted blue. My Tesla's painted blue. Everything I have is blue. And I live in a sea of green. And everybody down here is going to be rooting for the Giants tonight on primetime to beat Dallas. So yeah. I'm in good company now.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, it'll be fun to watch. I am very, very high on Saquon this year. So I think he's going to be awesome.
Listen, Colby, I'm rooting for the Pats tonight. Even though I live in Eagle country now, I'm rooting for the Pats because Colby, I need the Eagles. You know, and it's funny. So I'll tell you something real quick. Where I live now is near Philadelphia, and I shoot up north every once in a while and talk radio in both areas. Down here, it's Phillies, Jesus. Eagles 15-2. Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. Eagles going all the way to the. I go up north. Jets are winning the Super Bowl. Jets. it's unbelievable. I live in between two areas, old green, that are both going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm in the middle, and I think the Giants are going to win. So
hey, I'll take a Jets-Giants Super Bowl. I'm not going to complain. That would be awesome. So but Colby, I talked about that. The Eagles are going to plant their flag in Foxborough today. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a statement game for the
Eagles.
Eagles,
You think so?
I do.
I don't think so.
I think after, like I said, after Kansas City lost, they're going to go into New England and they are going to want to make a statement. Like KC couldn't get past the Lions, we just blew out the Patriots. I think
the Lions really KC hurt themselves. If the receivers could catch the ball, they would have been all right. But I think that Belichick had a long time to prepare, and I'll bet you it's going to be a much closer game than you think.
And it tends. Belichick can keep it close, but I don't think the offense can keep up for the whole game.
Well,
it might be close at halftime, but they're gonna pull away. It's just they're not good enough. They're not good enough. But yeah, man, I love.
I know you're taking Dallas. I just say it.
I'm going to do it for you and say the Cowboys.
Thank you.
Because then I'm usually wrong. But I love Saquon Barkley, and he could win this game by himself. So, all right, and then 1 minute. So we can't talk about Bills Jets. We'll have to kind of catch this up. We'll have to open with this next week, I think, and recap it. But what do you just give me your take real quick?
Well, so I think, again, I think it's going to be, I think this will be a high scoring game. I don't know what the over-under was on this game. I think the Giants were like
45.5.
How much?
45.5.
Oh, really?
Half a point higher. Half a point higher than the Giants Cowboys game.
I think there'll be more points in the Jets Bills game. So I would take the over and take the under in the Giants Cowboys. I think the Giants Cowboys will be more of a defensive game. But Jets in Buffalo. In Buffalo?
Nope. MetLife.
So
September 11th. September 11th in MetLife.
In MetLife.
With Aaron Rodgers. Yes. If there was a roof on that stadium, it would be blown off. I
Yeah.
mean,
So how do you feel if it does rain tomorrow? If it's stormy tomorrow, are you gonna have a problem?
I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
the Jets defense is real, and their running back depth is so deep that if it's a sloppy field,
Yep.
I mean, you got Brees Hall, you got Dalvin Cook, you've got Michael Carter, and they've got I still can't
I
say his
think
name
Brees
properly,
Hall is
but
questionable for the game.
he is questionable, but he's been practicing fully.
Okay.
So they're
All
just
right.
leaving it on because he's coming off the ACL.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting to see how much run he gets.
Yep.
They have a plan, but they haven't said like really what they want to do with it. But their running back depth is incredible. So
Okay.
if the field's sloppy and disgusting, I think that gives them an edge over the Bills running back. I like Cook, but
Yeah.
I think that gives them an edge. If it ends up being nice weather and they're throwing the ball back and forth, like it's Garrett Wilson against Stephon Diggs. I mean,
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah,
it's going to
it's
be a
gonna be
fun
fun.
game to watch.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I think Aaron Rodgers will win opening night at home, prime time. He does make me nervous because he's talking about he saw some UFOs and stuff. I heard, and I've lived up there my whole life. I've never seen a UFO. I don't know what he's talking about. I
uh,
think the ayahuasca or whatever it's called that he does is having an effect on him. And
he's
if he
probably
sees
not.
those during the game, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I think he's gonna win opening night at home.
Okay.
All right.
It's probably because he's not used to living close to Newark and all the planes coming in.
Right.
But,
But I'm like,
yeah,
is that just the Goodyear blimp that was coming in that he thought was
right.
you? I don't know. Maybe he never saw it.
It might have been coming in for the game tonight, and he saw
Right,
it. And
right. I
yeah,
don't know
I
what he
don't know,
thought he saw.
but
And of course, nobody filmed it. Three guys are standing there frozen. Nobody could take out a camera or phone. Not come on.
yeah,
Maybe
I
he
don't
was
know.
dreaming.
It could have
Anyway,
been.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm going to pick the Jets as well in this one. I think they have just as good a chance to win this one. So, Bills are 2.5-point favorites. Vegas isn't overly confident, not even giving it the 3 points. So,
Yep. Take the Jets and the points.
yeah. And we got a question in here. So, start Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, or Dotson.
I would say I wouldn't take Mike Evans with Baker.
I would go Terry McLaurin. He's the best wide receiver out of the three, and they're
Right.
playing against. They probably have the worst, for them the best defense to go against. So
Yeah, I would go with Terry too.
yeah, but that
Joey
game
the
just
BB. All right.
that game just started. So Joey, subscribe, please like it, and hopefully you got Terry McLaurin in there because
Good luck.
that's the right choice. So that's it. Games are starting, locked in. So best of luck to you guys. Please make sure that you jump back next week and join us. Get your questions in. We'll have a better idea of what the NFL looks like in week 2, and I won't have to give you so many of the "I'm not sure about this offense" statements as I did
Right.
today.
It's
So
week 1. It's week 1.
I
It's
know.
tough, right?
I know. And like I said, you start going through some of these teams and you're like, I don't know what the Falcons are going to look like. I don't know what the Browns are going to look like. I
Yep.
don't know what the Colts are going to look like.
That's
So
right.
that was the theme today. But yeah, hopefully it helped. Hopefully you guys win. Please, again, like, subscribe, come back next week. And we're going to continue to win each and every week till we get to the championship. So for John in Hawaii, who couldn't make it this week, and Jim jumping on, thank you. We'll see you guys next week. Good luck to you. Good luck to your teams. Peace out.